How goes the family? Welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. Hopefully, you guys having a great and exceptional day. Today's poem is called 2005 poem. Hopefully, you guys enjoy it. Of life, I had a big change that came live and of age in the year 2005. In today's world, family, I really despise when I see people dim the light of others and are always hoping for their demise. For anyone in this life, especially in a so-called quote unquote community that doesn't and will never ever show any really kind of unity. And those are the facts in life at times in the African American community truly lacks, and everyone getting on their feet and stop standing on everyone else's backs. Anyways, this poem is all about the year 2005 and all of my life plays. The year of 2005 was in my life a very, very big major transition. My previous job at that time did their best / darndest to disrupt my life's work and my life's mission. Because at this time in my life, I was working for two employers, and it wasn't because I had multiple kids or owned money to governments or lawyers. No, 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 not at all. Back in those days, I received a call of increasing my money savings, opening up individual retirement account, IRA, and quit my economic misbehaving. Well, when it came to my previous full-time employer, they were all about the butt kissers and backstabbing wishers. They all fell into the various amounts of categories, and for most part, all of the employees and managers had the same boring and basic stories. And at that moment, family, every day I went to work and I said that I cannot allow myself to end up in this specific position when I get older in their so-called life or their so-called glory. During that time in the United States, being an entrepreneur was only for a selected few. And since I was the youngest person at the job, absorbing all of the employee-only mindset, and at that time, I didn't have a clue on where I was going as a person, but at that time, I definitely knew at this place, maybe my first real income producing / benefits having job, but yet and still, I feel like I was being robbed of my creativity, hopes, dreams, and ambitions, because I was surrounded by working people who were basically retired and uninspired. I was in my early 20s and was all about getting and saving a multitude of monies. My naivete made it so damn easy for people out there to ensure that I didn't really understand how the economic game was truly played. And when I made the mistake of sharing my dream to the working retirement community, they said, that's not possible. You should just be happy with what you got and just focus on staying in the same spot. Yes, just stay there, because in about 10 to 15 years, you'll just be, basic like us and just rot. Working there, I developed a physical and mental knot that almost destroyed my goals, but I put all of those haters on hold. So at the end of the day, I was able to not only get another job, but I learned that investing money and time was just as important as getting an education. I'm so glad that I listened to my eyes and books, because to my surprise, it led me to a life that brings smiles to my face. If I would have listened to them, I probably would have end up living it. If I would have listened to them, I wouldn't have probably end up living in my own space. So I say this especially to the young people. If you're intern, you're fresh out of high school, you're fresh out of college, you're fresh out of trade school, you're fresh out of the military, whatever have you, and you're starting a new job, big company, small company, government entity, whatever have you. Take a lot of what your elders say with a grain of salt if they're not giving you specific game on not only how to come up and whatnot, but how to invest. If they're talking the old talking points of previous generations, which made sense back then, but it doesn't make sense now, of just work your way up the corporate ladder or the entity ladder and everything, put money in your 401k and everything's going to work itself out. That was true 20, 30 years ago. That's not true in 2022. Okay. There's nothing wrong with having a job. There's nothing wrong with being a business owner, but having backup plans and being strategic on how you live your life, how you work at your health and work on your wealth is where it's at. It's really where it's always been. But a lot of times, we just accept what's given because it's easier to go follow the crowd instead of going against the grain. And going against the grain nowadays is just a new norm. That is kind of going with the crowd. And I love that new crowd that's been developed out here. So 2005 was a pivotal point in my life because I was working two jobs and I was able to get a better job and another better part-time job. So my income was increasing and and I started to grow assets at that time. And I wasn't out doing a lot of foolish stuff like, having 50,000 baby mamas all over the place and, acting a fool. I was disciplined and more responsible. I I think it's just as I am now and whatnot. And I think if I had the knowledge, if I had mentorship that were talking about, hey, if you invest your money, if I had a mentorship that was talking about, hey, this isn't the end of the line for you, this is just the beginning. If I had mentorship in that aspect of outside of the box thinking, then I think my life would be different. I'm not complaining where my life is now, but I think my life would be a lot more different now if I had that mindset, if I would have read A Rich Dad, Poor Dad, or Dr. Claude Anderson's Powernomics back in 2005, I think the trajectory of my life would have been much more different, but it is what it is. So that's why I encourage the young people in their early to mid 20s and whatnot, don't do the basic stuff only, to be exceptional as much as possible, because when you get in your 30s and 40s, you'll look back and say, dang, if I think outside of the box and if I implement different strategies and if I play chess and not checkers, like the school systems, regardless if you went to Harvard or, community college, they set you up to do, then I think you can take yourself to places you never thought you'd go. So do the great 3 things. Like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day. And as I always say, make money moves or you're going to live, bro, like a fool. Take care, family.